Video journal entry 1, January 5th, 2025. So I've decided that I want to start doing like video journal entries and like video logs. I've always liked the idea of them. I love like when I see other people where they recorded themselves like a year ago and they check in a year later and they kind of like do a recap. I've always loved that. And I've also personally been journaling a lot myself. Like I've been journaling for a long time, even since I was young. And last year I actually journaled every day of the year. I had a 365 journal. I actually have it right now here with me. I got it while I was in Korea. I got it in Busan. And literally the journal, I think the name of the journal translates to everyday journal. And it's pretty much like not everyday journal, one sentence journal. And it's pretty much like a sentence a day, and I'll be finishing like this journal at the end of the month, and I really like it. And I like the fact that it's one sentence too, because it really gives you so much space. And I'll show you. Oh no, I shouldn't put it on my clay. I'll show you like the lines. Getting dust on it. See, it really gives you so much space to write in, which I like because it makes you think about like the core themes, like the core focus that you want to prioritize of like what you've been through for the day. So I kind of like that. And I kind of want to follow like a similar format of like the core themes that I've thought about throughout the year. And why I really wanted to do like a video format is because I feel like writing is one thing. I think I transpire my thoughts really well when I'm writing. But I feel like being able to see things progress visually would be so helpful. I can see firsthand, I can confront myself firsthand as to what I've been through, and I can see the visual, I can see the emotional, I can see all the different nuances from how I'm talking, etc. I think that will help me identify even more patterns and to see how things really affect me as a being from a phonetic standpoint. So I'm really excited to do it, and I don't know, I'd just be happy to have something to look back on. If you don't know something about me, I'm like, I guess you do know. You're me. Or maybe you're not me, or somebody else watching me. But something about me is like, I'm kind of sentimental. Like I'm a bit of like a hoarder too, because I'm so sentimental about things. So having this collection of just different thoughts from what I've been going through will be really helpful, especially since I want this year to be a really pivotal year for me. Even if it's not no biggie, but I'm going to put my foot forward to not necessarily be a different person, but to be the person I'm envisioning myself to be at like a full front. So I'm really looking forward to look back on this. And I guess I'll just jump right into things. The start of 2025, it's been rough. And actually, this is why I really want to do this, is because I have something to look back to. In my journal, and like when I read my past journals, I feel like January and the start of the year is never really that good for me. I don't know when the last time I really had a good start of the year. It always starts with some type of melancholy. So this is me taking a note this year that perhaps maybe my spirit is just going with the seasons. Like, winter is like a down season. And then in the spring, I realized I started ramping things up towards the spring, and I followed through towards the fall, and then towards the winter, it's kind of like, So maybe I think I'm just going to be more cautious of that, how I navigate things. So maybe I shouldn't be trying to bust out all these super nova-ass ideas and want to go full throttle in freaking January. Maybe I should just give myself that space in January to really not have too many expectations for myself, just to give myself a break. But I do feel like this January is a little bit better. I think it's a little bit better than like normal years. I think it's the 5th, and I'm already starting to like ramp things up. I'm having ideas. I'm feeling motivated, even with all like the stress that has been associated with New Year. So I think it's a bit better. As far as the week goes, I started like the first kind of like, what's life? What am I doing with my life? What have I done? Oh, what was me? What was me? Why I'm such a failure? Why am I failing myself? And I stopped that quickly because if you've seen some of my videos probably before, I've talked about self-love. Like I'm becoming very strict with myself on self-love. Like I don't have a lot of room for like self-hatred anymore. So I only give myself like a small time to be like, what was me? But after that, I got to be like, no, you're not. You don't suck. You didn't fail too much. Don't be so hard on yourself. I feel like personally, I don't know. I don't think I've come from like, my family's supportive enough, but like they don't really hold as much space for my accomplishments and things like that. And I feel like that's something I have to do for myself, since like I don't really receive in other areas. That's something that I should do for myself, and I should like praise myself with. And I came from like a hard background when it comes to like acknowledgement and things within your family. And I think like the earliest times that you expect acknowledgement is when you're young, from your parents and the people around you. And I feel like, especially in my mom's regard, I really didn't get that a lot. So I think it's played into like my adult self. I recently saw this video just today about, it was like what's his name? It's on top of my tongue. Daniel Daly or something like that. He's the like POV, a 26-year-old businessman in Dubai or whatever. I saw how he was on a podcast. It was like the first few minutes, and he was talking about his family. He was talking about how his family is so supportive, and it's just like, damn, you know, like you can go so far with support. I remember I was thinking to myself like, you know, I am the way I am because of like the tough love that I got or whatever, because of hardship or whatever. But then I realized, what if I got self-love, or what if I got love instead? What if I got support instead? What if I got kindness and grace instead? Where would I be then, right? Maybe I'd be even better than where I am right now. And I feel like a lot of the hindrances that I've come across in my older years and this self-doubt really connects back to like my upbringing and acknowledgement in my upbringing. So like I'm really making it my effort to kind of give myself that acknowledgement, which I have a hard time doing because I don't know, like I feel like when I do a thing, I'm on to the next thing. Like, I think that's why some of my stuff can't really go so far sometimes, because I don't really spend a lot of time to promote it and to say, hey, I've done this, look at me. And that's actually what you're supposed to be doing to finally get noticed and to finally be able to take a step back from that. But it's so hard for me to do that because I feel like, well, I've done what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, what am I talking about it for? I'm very much like, don't talk, action. So like some things are hard for me. Like, for example, with music, I'll make a song, I'll put it out or whatever, or I might not even put it out at all, and I'll just be like, okay, on to the next thing. And it's like, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to market it. You're supposed to say, hey, pay attention to me. This is what I've done. But it's like hard for me to do that. So I'm really going to make notes to make sure I do that moving forward. And it's just to make an acknowledgement of the things that I've done. Because it's like, as I mentioned before, like the new year is kind of hard for me always. And like last year, I was feeling so down in the dumps in January. And it's crazy because I literally came back from a big pivotal trip for me that like, it made me so happy. And it was something that I always wanted to do. And then 2 months later, I'm all down in the dumps. Not even the full 2 months. I'm like down in the dumps. And it's like, dang, girl, you was just frolicking the lands of a different continent by yourself. Like, relax. Relax, bro. Like, let's take some time, synergize all the things we've learned over our trip, and to move forward into New Year. And it's crazy because I'm feeling bad about myself again. And it's like, dang, I brought a crib this year. At least you did that much. But I feel like maybe I feel bad because I feel like I've accomplished parts of my goals, but not full parts of my goals, you know? Like, for example, with the house, like I bought my house, but I was like still living with my parents. So maybe it didn't feel like much. And I guess maybe that accomplishment didn't feel like much because I was still living at home. And like, speaking of which, I think I made the decision to like decenter my parents, specifically decenter my mom. Isn't that crazy? Everybody's talking about decenter men, but like specifically decenter my mom, because I feel like it's time to like really let that go. And that was one of the stressful situations of this week, and I literally just made that decision yesterday. And it's something that is like, it's hard for me because like I think as I gotten older, one of the principles that has really been ingrained and like become stronger and stronger is the concept of family and looking out for family. But like I feel like in the process of doing that, I received certain responses that just was like, dang, I really put my focus on like family and put my focus on like family first, and like that's what I received back. So it's making me want to take a step back, but at the same time, like I've said, it's become this like pivotal principle for me that the choice of stepping back from family makes me feel like shit, because it's like, dang, I'm supposed to be looking out for them. But I realize like I can't look out for nobody if I can't get myself together, right? So I think like I really just want to take that step and just be on my own for a little bit. And speaking of which, I guess I'll go into like goals that I've made. I've made my solidified goals of this year, and I'm feeling ramped up about them. Yeah, I've really solidified it, and I have 3. One of them being, I guess one of them actually is coming about fashion. I thought it would, and I'll speak on in a second, but one of the big ones is being finance. And when I say finance, it's split into 2, but the main of that 2 is monetization of my creativity. Not in the sense that like I want to be this like manufacturing like bang bang bang, but like I want to remove myself from corporate America, and I want to be able to reap the fruits of my creativity. I often think to myself, I'm like, dang, I do all these creative things, I do all these creative endeavors, like there should be something that I can like monetize and be able to live off of and sustain myself off of. I'm the type of person that like, even like I just don't like spending time doing things I don't love and like I don't feel like I'm supposed to be doing. Like no matter how like good it is for me sometimes, I just don't want to do it. So I do take a step back to be grateful and have gratitude for what I receive. But like, for example, my job, like I try to do my best, you know. But at the same time, it's like, I don't want to be spending time on this because it's kind of purposeless. Oh my God, Lord, you're my employer. I'm just kidding. But like, it just doesn't make sense. I would rather spend my time on something that matters. Like, I'm exerting this energy on this job. And it's like, dang, I want to put that energy into something else. So it's like, I want to be able to sustain myself through my creativity in a way that, like I said, sustainable, in a way that's not burning me out, in a way that's not burning out my love. I don't know. And I think it's possible because I feel like I like business in a way. So I think that would mitigate the love dying out for like certain passions, because in a way I kind of like pushing those like limits and like going towards like seeing these systems seeing like certain systems that go in hand with business and seeing how that applies to artistry. I think I kind of like that. So I'm like really like, dang, I really need to figure out how to make something work. Because alongside with that, I think it would bring a lot more freedom. One of my biggest goals in life in general, not just for a year, but is to have freedom, like unlimited freedom. I hate restriction. I hate authority. I hate limitation. So every year is going to be a year that I'm making sure that I can be as limitless as possible, as limitless as a human can be. So that's one, is financials. It sucks that we have to think about money so much, but it's like, it got to be done. And plus, like, I'm just so sick and tired of having to think about money. I just want to get money out of the way in my life so I can think about other things. So I can just think about creativity. And I feel like it's been hard for me to do that because I just come from a family that's like, it's always freaking money. I come from like, I have an immigrant parent, and like, if you know, like immigrant, like you have to understand it, because like immigrants, they have to think about money because they've had so much hardship, right? When my mom was young, like she had to take care of like so many siblings. She's helped sponsor like her siblings to come to this country, and then she's had to survive in this country. So like money is always this thing, and it's always been like survival first. And you know, I don't want to be surviving first, and I'm just tired of having to always constantly think about money. But because of my upbringing, I have to. And I feel like even that in itself, I spoke in my video. I actually posted a video yesterday about like a certain type of laws of attraction. I feel like the fact that I think about money so much is probably pushing money away from me. So I just wanted to like really hone in and focus on my finances for some years, so I don't have to like think about it too much moving forward. And I think it goes along with my personality as well, because I'm a delayed gratification type of person. I like to do the hard things first so I can have enjoyments. I want to enjoy. So finance is like my first goal, and like I said, alongside that is the main one is like monetizing my creativity in a way that I can survive off of it and I'm not stressing. Struggle is not my portion. It's not my portion. I'm not a hard life girl. I'm a soft life girl. I want to do it in a way that's like comfortable for me, not in like this starving artist trying to get paycheck to paycheck. No, I'm trying to check a bag. I'm trying to check a bag. So I'm like trying to figure out how to do that and get it into full action. And I think I feel a little bit more confident about that, because I feel like before I wanted the money, I've thought about the money, but I don't think I've really actively put my energy forth. I guess sometimes I have, but like not in a really intentional way. And I think this year I'm really going to do that. So that's one, is the finance. Two, thinking I had three and I forgot one already. Wait, let me write it. Let me look at my journal. I know the two, I can't remember the three. Okay, I found it. Okay. That's why it's good to document things. Your memory lapses you over the years. So I know 1, 3, finance, another country. Okay, I remember. Okay, I got it. Okay, 2 is I want a year to like live by myself, and specifically hopefully in another country. I like this year won't be like doing that, but it will be acquiring the resources to do that. And I think it's like I mentioned before, it might actually come sooner than I thought, because I've had a discussion about my parents about like me living by myself from now on. It was a hard thing to say. It was very hard for me to think about over the like a long time. But like I finally said it. Like I had a tipping point like yesterday. My mom was like rambling off about something, and I really thought to myself, I was like, wait, free will. I don't have to deal with this. I'm not like sometimes I find myself in these situations where I operate off of the capacity that I'm still like this small person who doesn't have these resources, who's super new to earth, and like I don't have it, I can't do this, I can't do that. But I'm like, actually maybe not. And I feel like living with my parents, it has its pros and cons. Like I can't ever say that, oh, it's just woe is me living with my parents. Like I've reaped a lot from it, but like I think I need to take that next step and just remove that safety net. I feel like part of it is like wanting to be like with my family because they're older and etc. I think another part of it is that safety net that's there, and I feel like maybe I should remove that safety net for a while, even if we live together again in the future. That like I'm open to that. But I think I just need my space by myself, because I'm just, like I said, my household is not necessarily the household where I feel my most open, expressive self. So I like really want that space to like be my expressive self 100%, you know? So that's like my second goal. So that's like getting the resources for that. and to like put that in place so I can just even live abroad for a year and just like focus on like everything I want to do for a year. I think, speaking of that, before I get into goal 3, I've like really confirmed I think I'm avoided attachment. I like my alone time. And like I said, it's because for a long time I've like always had to look within for like my emotional needs and things like that. So I really love my alone time. But I feel like people, I realized before I even really even knew about the things of like avoidant attachment, I feel like people rave on that. Like, oh, they don't express their feelings, they don't do da. But it's like, maybe you didn't hold space for them to be able to express their feelings. Maybe you didn't create a conducive space for them to express their feelings. Everybody shits on us, but it's like, maybe let's look both ways now. Don't just throw the dirt on us. But I do need my space. Like, I need my space to like collect myself and to figure things out. So that's just something that needs to work on. But my third goal is I want to be like a stone cold communicator and storyteller. I think that's one of my strengths per se, but I think it can be stronger, especially with my oral speech, and which is something I've been working on a lot. I feel like when I'm intentional about how I speak, I'm pretty good at speaking because I do music. So I think about pacing and I think about timing actively. But sometimes when I'm like really expressing my mind, I'm like speaking fast. I'm like, so being a really strong communicator and being able to tell a story so clearly, no matter the medium that I'm in. So I like many different mediums, and I just love storytelling, and I love being able to convey a message. So I just want to really enhance that skill and make that a really, really sharp, strong point for me. So those are my 3 goals. Like, when I say communicate for that number 3, like, I really want to be like, when I speak, you listen. Like, have you really heard those people who are like super captivating? Like, I really want to be like, speak really elegantly and really fluently and just express emotions and express ideas very clearly. And I think that's communication is just a strong suit for whatever you do. I feel like you can be the best at certain things and the best at certain crafts, but if you don't know how to communicate, like it's almost lost. Like, if you've gone through this big formula and like maybe you're starting a company or something like that, and you have to express it to your employees and you don't know how to communicate, and you don't have anybody next to you who can communicate that, what is it going to do? It's going to be in a disarray. So like, communication is really important. So I really want to become very strong at that. So those are my 3 goals. It's funny, I'm not thinking about it, it's funny how things change. But old me wouldn't have said that out loud. I was very much a keep it to myself type person. But actually the past year has really taught me, actually, no, you need to vocalize that, because power of the tongue. You need to say it loud and say it proud. At first I was worried about that evil eye. I'm African, so that evil eye, I'd be like, hold on now, because people be on that heebie-jeebie, hoodoo, voodoo type stuff. So like, I'm like worried about it. But now that I know, like, powers behind you can be much stronger to any type of ill will somebody has for you, right? If your power is strong enough, that ill will has nothing to do with you. And speaking it out loud is really solidifying that idea. It's really putting that prophecy into place to be fulfilled. So it didn't really even faze me to like say that out loud. I want to say that out loud because I want to go get it. Like, and even if I don't get it, who cares? Who's gonna judge me about it besides me? But yeah, that's how the new year is starting. It's a bit of 50-50, right? Like I said, it started really down, and then it kind of like went like here. Then yesterday it kind of went like here, but today it's like we're back up and we're really ramping into things. I have a trip coming up really soon. And I'm probably gonna be doing a journal. I'm gonna do a couple of journals on my trip. I'm going to Japan again. If you haven't seen my channel, my old video before, like that was my second travel vlog. My first international travel trip or solo trip was to not my first international trip, but my first international solo trip was to Japan. I'm going again. I'm kind of on the fence of being excited and nervous. I'm nervous and a little bit terrified because there have been some crazy things happening in aviation the past week. And if you don't know about me, flying, I'm like kind of 50-50 about flying. Like, the thought of it makes me really nervous. Once I get on the plane and things are okay, I'm cool. I'm looking at the clouds. I'm like, look at the pretty clouds. Look at the pretty city lights. I'm cool. But once I feel turbulence, I'm like, Lord, I haven't written my will yet, Lord. So the past week has really made me nervous to fly, but I'm just looking forward to the trip in general. I didn't mean to go to Japan again. I guess I'll talk about it when I make my videos, but like, I actually randomly wanted to go skiing. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll go skiing in Japan, because they say like Japan is like so cool for skiing and it's actually much cheaper than Europe and stuff like that. So I was like, maybe I'll go skiing in Japan. And I randomly booked a trip, so I'm going skiing in Japan. And since I was like, I'm going skiing in Japan, I was like, let's spend almost a month there. So I have some fun content coming out. I don't think it's going to be my usual vlog style that I do. I've been thinking about like what content will work. And I'm not really sure if people will receive that vlog style that I've been doing before. I feel like I've seen it work for others, but I don't know if it's working for me. So I'm going to try to do a different format of content, which I'm pretty excited for. I'm a bit nervous about it because I don't know, I'm kind of nervous about, I'm excited for it, but I'm nervous about it. It's going to be like a lot of like research-based things and like really like crafted message type things. I was nervous about doing that style of video for travel because travel is like a love for me, and I didn't want to like take that joy out of it by like making too much work for it or whatever, and like scheduling it too much to a T, because I like being spontaneous. But like, I think I've come to a point where I found a system to be able to put like certain intention behind it without taking away the spontaneity of it. And I feel like personally I like research, so I think this direction will be good for me and it'll be exciting for me. So I hope that content does well. I hope you guys will like it when I put it out. It's not going to be out next month because like I like to edit my stuff when I come back from the country for like safety reasons, stuff like that, and to give me time to sit back and process everything. So that'll be coming out soon. Look out for that. My next journal entry too, I'll be in Japan, so I guess be back next week for that. Anywho, Nick, I hope you've gotten something good out of that. See you later. Bye.